everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. If you're as pumped as I am after that intro, we've got a pretty good day for you in store. So we're going to be looking at empowering proactive decisions with TrackTik's advanced reporting. So we're excited to show you how TrackTik's advanced reporting capabilities can help streamline your operations and enable more proactive data-driven decisions. I'm Michael, and joining me today is Peter. So together we'll be able to take you through the key features of the solution and show you how it can transform your reporting process. So today we'll cover how to tackle time-consuming tasks in manual reporting, and we're going to discuss and use real world examples, if you will, of some of the pain points we all feel when it comes to that. At the same time, we'll look at new dynamic reporting capabilities that TrackTik offers today. And Peter will so graciously share his screen and give us a solution presentation to share his thoughts on everything that we've been working on lately. So that's just in a little bit. And we'll also look at how you can customize and standardize reports. So consistency, accuracy, and truly benefit from your data. I think that's the most important thing that everyone's looking to achieve nowadays when it comes to reporting. So let's dive right in and meet Peter. Go ahead, Peter.
Hey everyone, hey Mike, thanks so much for this introduction. So my name is Peter Tadros. I'm a group product manager at TrackForce. I mainly work on the TrackTik service delivery side of things for the past, I would say, 7 to 8 years. So it's been a really long time here. I'm really excited to meet every one of you and Mike, and can't wait to share, all the new updates with you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Thanks. Michael Braun here. So same as Peter, I think I joined TrackForce just a little bit before Peter did. I'm at 8 years running now, and I'm the senior account development executive, taking care of a majority of enterprise accounts, commercials and renewals and all those fun things that we do together. But glad to be here and working with Peter and showing you guys what it is that we've been working on. So it's always fun to start with the problem. What are those problems, right? And so before we get to the demo, let's talk about some of those pain points, right, that organizations feel and they often face when it comes to reporting. Many teams are bogged down with time-consuming manual tasks, inconsistent reporting processes, duplications, and a lot of time work with individual pockets of folks and administrators doing the same thing and they don't know others are, right? So we're trying to figure out ways of bettering that for everybody within TrackTik and within that ecosystem, if you will. So what I would like to say, Peter, is if you take a look at these, the way I look at it, we mentioned it, it's time consuming. Administrators should have it standardized, right? It should be simple. Companies should be able to project what they're looking for and get the results they need, giving administrators still that flexibility to add a little flair and service their customers properly as well. And at the same time, we want to be proactive, not reactive. So how do these new enhancements help us do that? And of course, the difficulty that we've had in the past of demonstrating the value of security, I mean, that is key, especially I said I work in commercials. You can tell that security companies with their customers have important conversations about contracts and renewals too. So how do you maintain that business? It's by showing and demonstrating the value of what you're giving them and what you're doing on a day-to-day. So Peter, what are your thoughts on these points?
Exactly. Totally agree with you, Mike. And I think if we narrow down the pain points that we have, I think it's going to touch 3 different personas. Like when you talk about persona, we're talking about here admin, guards, and clients. So from the admin standpoint, it's a lot of work. Like, I want to create reports that are customizable for specific situations, let's say, or maybe I'm going to, create a generic one for, that can fit all situation. For the guard, when I'm in the field and I see a lot of question in my report, I was like, what is this? It's a lot of information to fill in. Maybe this question does not fit the situation that I'm facing right now in the field. So it's a lot of noisy, and it doesn't help the user experience. Even for the guard, when they are in the field, they want to fill it right away.
Their customers also receive documentation with a lot of blank lines and blank spots, and 35-page PDF when it could have been only 10. That type of situation as well.
Exactly, 100%. So at the end of the chain, the client receive all of this reports with like empty information, or maybe information that doesn't relevant to, you know, like the situation that he's supposed to read things about. So I think, yeah, there's I would say quite a few problems here that we're gonna need to work on.
Right. So what you're trying to say is if we had a solution, right, that could automate and streamline reporting and make it easier to customize reports and throw down standardization across the board, that would be what we were aiming to achieve.
100%, and that's exactly what I'm here today to show you guys this.
All right, so then, I mean, let's move on, Peter, and by all means, share your screen and show us what we've done. Yep, nice and clear.
Okay, perfect, awesome. So let me just put this aside here. Awesome. So first thing first, I'm going to start with creating a new report from the main dashboard that we have. So if I go here, I'll say, okay, create a new report. Now, as you can see, it's a new framework. Remember, we used to have this legacy pop-up, but now it's a new framework. I'm going to, for instance, select my site. Let's say it's a TrackTik's site. And now I'm going to select, okay, here is the report template that I prepared for you guys to see. Right now, we do have only 3 fields. Call 911, what is the room temperature, and what is the garage door status. If I say, okay, call 911, no, I did not call 911, perfect. Nothing else will show up. But if I say, yes, I called 911, see, you see extra questions. So that means as an admin, I put this in place because I want to gather more information, what happened there.
Right. So, Peter, contrary to the past where you would only have these bubble down additional questions with incident categories, I think what you're showing us is that a simple yes or no or any other type of interaction can actually add additional information into reporting.
100%. And as you can see, like we can again, based on the configuration, we're going to come to that later. But again, you can see more than one question based on one answer. So there's like, okay, police details. I want to, okay, when did the police arrive? Okay, police officer name, you know, badge number, all this kind of information. It's not just a yes to no relationship. Also, it can be like an equation, like greater than, equal to, this kind of thing. So room temperature. Okay, what is room temperature? If I say, I don't know, it's 1, that means everything's good. If I say it's 10, now, okay, have you checked the window? Windows are closed, all these kind of things. Same thing goes for the garage door. If it's open, now, okay, I need to know why it was open. And if it was closed, I don't want to gather more information about that. So that's exactly what the guard will see from the mobile application and from the portal site.
This is great. I'm just thinking of, you know, some of the customers that we deal with that deal with refrigerated vehicles, et cetera, and the temperature variable checks. And we used to only need, again, we had to wait and use incident categories and repurpose. And you don't want to use incident categories if it's not an incident. So it's a great aspect. I think now we've blown this up and given that customizability feature. This is great.
Exactly. And now let's say I'm going to submit this report. Let's see how the client will see it at the end of the day. So here, okay, let me click here. Remember, we used to have a section for the garage. You know, okay, it's closed. So now we don't see all the information related to the garage thing. So we really focus more on the what you filled there in the report. That's exactly what we're going to share with your client.
Excellent.
Cool. So let me go to the configuration piece here. So I'll go all the way to settings, report template, and let's create a new report just for fun here from scratch. So I'll say, okay, this one, yes, I'll give it a name, demo.
And for the folks that are on the call, right, they'll see no big change yet. This is what we're used to using in the system, which is great because we're not reinventing the wheel. So we're pretty excited to see where this new stuff comes in.
Exactly. So once I click on the field setup, here's going to see a lot of changes here. So this is a new brand user experience. It's a new UI UX that we introduced here, where for sure, Mike, you remember we used to have this black mobile device on the left-hand side where it's just so
I'm
small.
nostalgic. I'm nostalgic. I like that old phone. It reminded me of
Exactly.
my old Nokia days, but who cares? Okay.
Yeah, this is gone for now. So you
Okay.
won't see that anymore. So on the left-hand side here, you will have all the available questions that if you want to add them. So basically what you have to do is just, let me just select one here, click and drag. So this is the list picker. I'll just call it for fun, call 911. Let's do a quick scenario, same as we did at the beginning. And now I'll add my answers. Yes, and let's do this one. I'll make it no. So we have like two options. And now save. Boom. Here is my first question. Also, let's create one more for fun. Okay, text box. This one here quickly. I'll just text required and save. Boom. So now I have two fields in my report template. So far, so good. But how can we do all this kind of things? How can we do condition rules and add, relationship between fields in the
Right.
report template? All of that we do in the setting. But before that, there's one more exciting thing that I want to share with you guys, because I know there's so many people complained about this one before, which is the picture field. So as an admin creating let's say an incident report, I don't know how many picture my guard will need in the field. So we used to add like, I don't know, 10, 15, whatever. And maybe the guard wants to have more, but right now you can just add the picture field, say it's a repeatable, and on the mobile app, you're going to be able to add more than one field.
Oh,
So
so
just
just
added one set.
basically access the camera and just add and add. If you want to do 3, 4, 5, no problem. Okay,
Exactly. So
definitely
basically,
less
you
time
click
consuming.
100%. You click on the field on the mobile, click on the field, it's going to open up your camera, you take a picture, and now if you want to add one more, you'll see a plus button, you click on it, it will generate this field one more time.
Perfect. And it
So
will repeat the type naturally. It will mention picture,
100%.
picture, picture. Okay, cool.
100%. So let's add this one just for fun. And now, oops,
And by the
here
way,
we
we're
go.
getting comments and a lot of Q&A questions. I see them all here. We'll get to them soon. Thanks, Erica, and thanks for the thumbs up. I believe it was Graham. I missed that real quick, but keep them coming.
Awesome. Okay, so now we were in the build phase. Now let's jump to the settings phase. So now I'm going to create a rule, like my first rule. Let's say, okay, this is for the 911 thing, 911. And I'm going to hit save. So this is my first rule. And now in here, I'm adding my condition. Let's say, okay, what's going to be my condition? So I'm going to select the field that's going to trigger the whole rule. So call 911.
So you're
So
taking the fields that you've pre-created right now. You're identifying which one this condition is for, just to summarize.
exactly.
All right, cool.
So call 911. If I say the result equals to yes, because there's two values on that field, and I'm going to hit save. Now I'm going to go to the action part of the equation that we have here, and I'm going to say, okay, now show field. So in here, you see like three different options. You can show a field, which is a one-to-one relationship, like this. Based on one answer, I'm going to show or hide one field.
Okay.
I can select a group. I'm going to come to that later. Also, I can select a library. I'm going to come to that later as well. So let's do it simple for now. It's a one-to-one relationship. So let's say, okay, which field I'm going to show, and now I'm going to show that this like test one, which is like the text box. Now I hit save, and now finish. So now my first rule is there. So based on one answer, I'm going to determine if to show an extra question or not.
Okay.
Just one thing here before I forget. So there is like and or, and I'm going to come to that. So you can also build different conditions. So let's say if you have two questions, and based on these two questions, you're going to get two answers. So you can build a relationship between them. So if both of them, let's say you have yes and yes, so I want to have an and in between. Now the condition will met, and now you're going to show the extra question.
So
if you say or, it can be or. Yeah.
Conditional fields that will give you dynamic additional questions. So if one or the other is answered yes, for example, or it requires both be answered yes to produce the condition. Right.
100%.
Okay. And or. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, oops. Let me go back to our yeah. Here's the report template.
And we expect everybody to know this by heart. You get no training when you guys turn this on in the future. No, I'm just kidding. But we'll get to that in a second. No. It's quick. It's we don't have a lot of time, but you folks will be able to check this out with us in no time.
Exactly. So now let's say, okay, there's library here and there's a group. What does that mean? So I'll go to an already completed report here that I have for you guys, just to show you what do I mean by that. Dynamic report. So this is the one that we filled out at the first place. As you can see, I have two sections here. They are kind of highlighted in blue. So we do have the concept of library. Library, it can be a set of fields. Let's say call 911. every time I say yes to call 911 in each and every report template that I have, I want to show let's say a static set of questions every time. And instead of creating these questions over and over and over, what we can do is we have a library here. I can create as many libraries as I want. And if I click on the field setup, I can just put my fields there. So this is like the police details. So every time I say, okay, I call the police or something, instead of recreating these questions over and over, all I have to do is just associate this library with the report template.
So for those that know on a call, if you have a regional structure with TrackTik, or you don't, and you're just in one unique region, the main administrators per region or at the headquarter can actually push these libraries down and standardize across the board, correct? Meaning every time that question's answered yes, these 15 questions need to be added, 8 questions need to be added at that point, making it easier for administrators when creating their custom reports to attach that condition, if you will, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
100%. And lastly, we're gonna jump. Let me go back to this test one. Here it is. Yeah. And lastly, we're gonna end up with group. What does that mean, group? So groups here basically the same thing as library. You can create a set of fields. However, the group thing won't be shareable across different report templates. If you create a group, that means you create, let's say, a library on the fly within your report template, but you cannot share it across different report templates. So here's the
specific
difference.
client requests, specific customer requests that are unique, that go beyond what the company standard would be, for example.
100%.
Okay.
100%. And that's exactly where, if I go back here and go to this report template that we filled out at the first place, let's go to settings here. I'll go, let's say, to the police rule here. Now I'll show you how we did the configuration for this one. Click on the condition. Here's my condition, as you can see, call 911. So yeah, if it's equal yes, now the action will be here. I'm pointing out to the library. So remember this field?
Yep.
So let me click on this one just quickly. I know it's a little bit slow. This is a QA environment. It's not like
That's all good.
a production one. But yeah, here I'm pointing to a library. So show me this library. And basically, if I want to add like library or anything to my report template, I'll show you how this would be done. Pretty easy, pretty intuitive. Let me go back here. I click on the library. And now I see all the available libraries that I have. Let's say, okay, I want to add the police details, and boom, 2 clicks. See how many fields I added to my report template.
There you go. That's great. I mean, in terms of saving time and all the work that we used to have to do, I mean, even us helping folks customize and this will definitely streamline things. I think everyone realizes how much cleanup they're going to have to do within their portals moving forward, but it definitely future proof, I think.
Exactly, and it does enhance the visualization, even from the admin standpoint or from the guard all the way to the client. It's super automative and efficiency. Like it saves time, as you mentioned, Michael, and it hence also the data exploration. Like if you want to explore the data, okay, I know what fields I used in that report versus not. So because everything now based on conditions and I would say equation, if you will. But yeah.
So, Peter, a little bit more for you to show, or have you gone through your material?
I think I'm checking my notes here. I think I went over everything super quickly. I know that because we don't have a lot of time, but yeah,
that's okay.
We're good.
But now that we've seen the solution, right, we've touched on those benefits, right? So we're saving time on manual data entry. The report generation, although the process hasn't changed drastically, we've got better UIs. It's cleaner, a heck of a lot easier to move fields around than on the little mini phone that I used to love. I love that device. But at the same time, we're increasing the accuracy, right? We're standardizing. It's a lot easier to throw down a library of information, a library of questions. We're no longer limited to using and leveraging our incident categories, which should be leveraged for what incident categories should be leveraged for, and
100%.
not subforms. Because if folks relate, it used to be subforms to incident categories. By the way, those still exist, Peter. Subforms with incident, perfect.
Yeah. So if you see here,
exactly,
click on track. Here we go.
Right. So in other
Yeah.
words, now we kept that functionality of subforms that speak to the incident, but we've added this dynamic reporting on top of it to be able to give a heck of a lot more information that's required and not have to worry that we've already
Yeah.
used our one incident category in that report, right? So this is great. So we're increasing all that accuracy and standardization. And I think where we want to head and bring this discussion before we close this off and get to the questions, it's streamlining these decision-making processes in real time, right? So how do we get all these actionable insights from these custom reports? Some folks use report metrics. A lot don't know about report metrics in our system. Folks use data labs, some don't, for those that know our products and our data reporting products. But how do
Mhm.
you see this, Peter, and how do you see us becoming more proactive versus reactive?
No, I think we are in the right track right now when it comes to, take our reporting system to the next level. I know that so many people may ask about, like, okay, that's very cool, but what is the plan? What is going to be like my V2 for all of that? So for sure, we do have a lot of, like backlog stuff that we're looking at, and we're trying to be proactive in a sense of, okay, we want to be one step ahead of. We know that there's like, if there's a pinpoint, we know that we work on it right away and even be one step ahead of it. So I think this is where we're going right now with, like taking our reporting system to the next level right now.
Right. And for those that do know those products or don't, we have the capacity to create rules in report metrics, and these rules can be run whenever you need them. One of the biggest pain points that was up on the screen was the fact that right now, to get certain data and or answer questions from C-level or from account managers trying to go to a client, you'd have to
Mhm.
scrum through the entire portal and pull a little bit of data from here and a little bit of data from there, probably
Mhm.
read through the last 25 reports, come
Yeah,
up with some trends and some ideas. Not very feasible, very time consuming, and not accurate either, because it depends on what time frame did you verify,
exactly,
what, is it a legit, proactive plan?
exactly.
So report metrics and leveraging that, you could literally choose your custom timeframes and pull fields from reports into
Yeah.
CSV. You could work these CSVs, you could formulate them the way you want, but it's all based off of data that you can pull from your systems. 1 month, 2 months, a whole year of data in one
Yeah.
CSV. And that will simplify things for you guys to then turn around, go back to your clients and show them how that works. We have our incident reporting capabilities, right? And we have those automated generated incident reports that you could pull up
Yeah.
and share as well. But merging the two and getting all these insights, especially with the number of fields that we've just added now, and
Mhm.
that capacity, they're only there when we need them, not blank fields. It
Yeah.
will definitely help get you more insight. And I'll finish by sharing on Data Lab, which is our internal BI tool, our little sandbox that we've created,
Exactly.
where you can actually hit up all of these endpoints, right? So every single endpoint, the custom fields that you create accessible. You can
Mhm.
create custom dashboards. So those custom dashboards that matter most to your scheduling admins, to your security reporting admins, everyone working with those clients every single day, giving them the insights now of every
Mhm.
single field, the ones that matter in the morning. They log in, refresh that screen, and see all that information on screen. It makes it a heck of a lot easier to have those business reviews, quarterly reviews, renewal discussions and contracts, whatever it may be. I think that's the goal and where we want to head, right? So
100%.
go, yeah,
Yeah.
Peter, go ahead.
Just to add on top of that, Mike, thank you so much for that. But again, when we use this new framework and the new technology that we have in place, because everything right now will be exposed, or you can access it from our REST APIs. I know it's a little bit technical, but it just you can go ahead and talk to the endpoint that all these endpoint that we created for all of these enhancements, like for report template, all of these rules, all of these conditions. So everything you can just go ahead and talk to them and then create dashboard and stuff like that. So everything right now, it's not just like will limit you to a static reporting system, but again, if you want to create dashboard and all this kind of things, you can do that by implementing this new framework that I just showed you guys.
Excellent. Now, between the lines, we have some Q&A. I want to be respectful of and mindful of everyone's time. So we'll go through this in a second. Again, we may not hit every single one. I'm pretty happy. We got a lot of questions in, which is great. But where I was headed with this was, and I completely lost my train of thought. Well, doesn't matter. We have enough questions to hit. That's all good. So one of the things, Peter, that I've been seeing is, when will this be live, and how do we get it? Is it a feature or functionality that everyone will get pushed, or is this a toggle on off situation? Maybe if you could give us a little bit of information on that, that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. Right now it's a toggle on off. Like we will not force it to everyone right away, because again, it's a new user experience, new UI UX. So it requires a change management. It requires training. So you're not gonna wake up one day and see it in your system. No, it won't. It won't go this way. So it is controlled behind a toggle. We will not turn it on right away. However, if you want to test it, play with it, you can reach out to your CSMs, and then we can arrange this kind of thing just to see how the feature works. Or if you have a staging environment, definitely you can turn it on your staging environment. So that's when it comes to the testing part. So it is available to be tested. If you want to use it in production, fine. We recommend for you, before turning it on right away in production, go ahead, play with it, ask us to provide you with, I don't know, it can be like a testing environment for like 1 week or something. You can go ahead and play with it, and just to see how the look and feel, how people will react. The only caveat here is, right now it is available only on Android. iOS will come soon.
Okay,
So once, yeah, go ahead.
So to your point, this is, anyways, I would recommend a good test. It is a significant UI change for administrators
100%.
that have been using the system a lot. So great to get them to indent themselves into it slowly, and then basically be able to perform with it. But you're saying that this is accessible now?
It is accessible now, yeah. It is
Okay,
accessible.
so very important for everyone on the call or anyone interested to communicate with their client success managers, and see the feasibility and how we can get this done. Not everyone has staging environments, so fair enough. You can always turn this on. Peter, is this a regionally on off, or is
No,
this
it
a
goes
cross portal?
across portal, yeah.
Across portal, so important
Yeah.
to note. That's good. But you did mention Android only.
Android only for now. Yeah.
Super important, which means the interaction of the actual mobile device will not be able to trigger the conditions if it's an iOS right now, correct?
Exactly. So
Okay.
if you have someone that uses 100% Android, it's going to be safe to turn it on and start working on it. But if you have someone who's like 50-50 or like 75-25%, we would recommend no. We recommend to wait until we have the iOS ready.
All right, and
Yeah.
clearly testing phase.
Yeah.
So let's be fair, that's what it is. For those that are interested, any idea on iOS timelines?
Yeah, we are aiming for end of Q1, beginning of Q2 maximum. So that's our goal. So yeah, hopefully we're gonna get there.
All right.
Yeah.
Couple of other questions, Peter, that we've had. Can I build conditions for subforms and libraries? I think it's two separate things. Subforms, in our jargon, subforms are linked to incident categories, right? Where you can have that same process, add 2 or 3 lines. But the groupings and the libraries, and what we mentioned, just to reiterate, the library can be pushed down from the top, from headquarters to everyone, where folks building custom reports that answer the specific question can pull those libraries in. And then there's the groups, which is the library for one select custom report, which is private to that one. So I just wanted to iterate on that. Dynamic reporting, is it linked, associated with system notifications? I mean, we knew that question was going to come up right now.
Yeah, so right now, yes, if you fill out a report template and you want to get notification about it or build the notification rule that we currently have, yes, this is still exists. However, if you want to go in details or like deep dive more and say, okay, if you answer this question as yes, like if you call 911 and the answer is yes, now send me a notification. We're not there yet. This is something that we have in our backlog. So again, I believe once we get there, we're gonna introduce that to you as we just did. But as of now, we don't have it.
But Peter, you and I discussed this yesterday together, and I think it's important for everyone to note that if there is a significant need or a communication that is required when someone answers a yes or a no, We've done this before, call it a workaround, but it's not really a workaround. If it's important,
Yeah.
it's got to be done. There could always be a call out and or a field calling out the fact to remind the users, the end user on the device, to fill out a 911 police report, or to fill out a certain custom report apart from the report they're currently filling out, to action certain items. So for those that don't know and those that do, a little reminder, we have the alert queues that you can select when creating a report, and those can email specific individuals when they're filled out. So super important to note that if there is a requirement, even though we don't have that right now, field specific notifications, you can actually do it with certain reports. So
100%.
no harm in filling out a report that only has 1 or 2, 3 fields after you fill
Yeah.
out this 35 field one, because you contacted the authorities, because the fire brigade was there, because XYZ. You can still leverage our system with the Q alerts. And then, of course, as you guys know, notification rules for specific reports, for incident flags that can be very specific and be sent to a list of customized contacts. You guys have that at the site level as well. So important to note. Going through the questions a little bit more here, Peter, a lot of questions about the video. Everyone has that in the chat as well. I looked. This will be uploaded. The webinar will be shared tomorrow. So that's done real good. We didn't have time to do subforms real quick on this call. So anyone that's interested in seeing how the subforms work with incident categories, that's another very good way to contact your CSM. And if you don't know who they are, well, bug us and call us and email us. We'll get you in touch with the right people. So yes, reach out to your CSMs for next steps. If you don't have one, always, track support at trackforce.com or TrackTik.com. Contact us through our support. We will make sure to get someone there to help you out as soon as possible. So yeah, I believe, Peter, we have hit a bunch of these questions. Again, there are a lot more questions here that we will be able to address, and looks to me like we did. So there we go. Pleasure, Peter. I thank you so much for sharing this with us. Any other questions we'll get to, right, Peter, and answer back. If you folks absolutely want more information, take the time remaining to ask your questions. Actually put your names there. Maybe it makes it easier for us to get those questions out. But yeah, we'll let our powers that be here accumulate all of that and share back with you guys ASAP. So thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.